If you've been waiting for clarity on the WNBA CBA talks, here it is and here I am. The deadline passed, the deal didn't get done, and now the league is operating in one of the most unstable phases of labor negotiations. This isn't a pause, it's pressure with consequences. I'm Lorraine, your favorite lawyer, and this is the Rapid Refresh Deep Dive, where I am going in depth talking about where we stand with the WNBA CBA negotiation. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Players opted out of the 2020 CBA back in October of 2024. That agreement was supposed to expire October 31st, 2025, and extended to November 30th, and then finally extended again to January 9th, 2026. 30 minutes before the January 9th deadline, the WNBPA released a public statement accusing the league of running out the clock. According to the union, they had submitted a counterproposal more than 2 weeks earlier and received no response before the final extension expired. That timing is important because it reframes this moment. This wasn't a last-second breakdown. From the union's perspective, this was a deadline reached without meaningful engagement, and that's what pushed negotiations into this current status quo phase. What does status quo mean?
Question.
The league continues operating under the terms of the 2020 CBA, but the critical change is procedural. Either side can now initiate a work stoppage at any time without advance notice. Now, if you remember, under the prior extensions, a 48-hour termination notice was required, and now that safeguard is gone. That alone fundamentally changes leverage, even if no one intends to strike tomorrow. This is also where the off-season complications begin or will continue. WNBA free agency was scheduled to open January 11th, just 2 days after the extension expired. Initially, the league called teams, told them they could begin issuing core designations and qualifying offers under the old system. But that created a problem that most teams came back to the league with. Any deal made under the 2020 framework could become meaningless overnight once a new salary structure is adopted, which just means that doesn't make any sense. So, on January 12th, the league and the union agreed to a free agency moratorium, freezing signings, trades, core designations, and qualifying offers until a new CBA is ratified. And the reason none of this can move forward is the same unresolved economic gap that I've been talking about for months now. Players are seeking roughly 30% of gross league revenue paired with a projected $10 to $12.5 million team salary cap. The league's most recent proposal shifts an uncapped revenue sharing model based on net revenue after expenses, which sources estimate would land players at less than 15% of total revenue, with a proposed $5 million salary cap. The league claims the union's proposal would generate approximately $700 million in losses over the life of the deal. I don't buy that, most people don't. The union has publicly rejected that figure as inaccurate. And this is where player leadership has become more visible. At Unrivalled's opening events, Nafisa Collier, co-founder of the league and a WNBPA vice president, reiterated that the players are not backing down, while emphasizing that a strike is not imminent, but it remains an available tool. Unrivaled has created something the WNBA calendar rarely allows, a physical gathering space for player leadership during negotiations, which changes how unified messaging and strategy can function. If the status quo period continues, the ripple effects grow. Expansion drafts for Portland and Toronto are stalled, roster construction timelines compressed, and if a work stoppage were triggered during the offseason, players can temporarily lose certain benefits and housing provisions tied to active operations. So this moment isn't about whether a strike happens tomorrow. It's about whether the league and the players can bridge a fundamental disagreement over how growth is measured, shared, and accounted for, while the entire offseason is frozen in place. Now, if you want the foundation for why this impasse was predictable, go watch my prior Rapid Refresh episodes where I break down the revenue share framing that led us here. I'm breaking this down even further in my upcoming Quick 5, which explains 5 things this phase changes that aren't getting explained in your day-to-day headlines. Now, if this was useful, share it with somebody who's still confused by the headlines and wants to stay in the know. I'll see you very soon.